Hey guys, Samp&Chance here. I'm here with my man, Mr. Chance. Michael's Chance. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good yourself.
Can't complain, man. Hectic times, hectic times. But hey, man, we still try to find a way to get it all done and get it out there for everyone to hear. So let's get it started, my friend. I think what we need to do is talk about the fights that we had this past weekend. One in particular, Bam Rodriguez. He showed up. He was the guy, man. What a fight. I mean, he just handled that no problem. What took him 2 rounds? I mean, crazy. This guy is legit at 24. Your thoughts, my friend?
He's probably a top five pound for pound. There's an 11-year age gap, right? I mean, Guevara is 11 years old, he's 35, Bam's
Yeah.
24, and Guevara's never been down before, so this wasn't
No.
like he was fighting some bum or whatever. You know, he's a tough fighter, but Bam is just too good. And he came in with the feint. He baited Guevara. He did like a ski move, went to the side with the left, and then hit him with his lead hand uppercut. Bam, which you don't Bam as in Bam, but you don't see that very often. The guy's defensively sound, he's offensively sound, and he never gives up defense for offense. And here's the thing: his trainer Robert Garcia has always been known as offensive coach. This time, the last 2 years, he's changed his coaching style up. He's teaching defense and that great offense that he teaches. And Bam is special. He's exciting. He's like a young Pocky out there. He's a killer, man. And I have him top five pound for pound. He's for sure top 10, but I have him top five. That performance was electric, and yeah, he's amazing. He's smart. He's got IQ in out. He hits the head. He hits the body. He times
Yeah.
it. Good vision. Anything you want in a fighter, he's got it all. He's like Tank Davis.
Well, I mean, it kind of comes down to where does he go from here? I mean, the talk is Chocolito, but Chocolito is pretty old too. But I mean, that would be a great fight. But the fight I keep hearing is him and Inoue. I mean, who would go up, who would go down and wait to make that fight happen? But those are the two fights for him going forward. Would you agree or
That's
disagree?
I want to see him fight anyway. That's not going to happen next one. That's going to be a ways down the way. So much negotiating to happen with that. Yeah, and where are they going to fight? They're going to fight in Japan. They're going to fight here. So I don't think he's going to
Well,
fight
I mean,
anyway next. Not for a
Tur-
while.
Turkey's already signed Inoue, so that's already done. I mean, Bam being with Matchroom, that's already much done with Turkey as well. So I mean, I don't see that being too hard to make. I think it's more the weight. What weight would both guys have to come into? You know what I mean? Would it be a catch weight? Would one go up? Would one have to come down? But yeah, it could take a long time as well. But I mean, just based on what we've seen the Saudis do, these fights happen
I don't
quicker
think I
than
don't
we.
think anybody's in any rush to go to Saudi Arabia and fight. This might take, but we'll see.
Well, I think the money's there, man, and Turkish is that
Oh, the
guy.
money's there. He's not Turkish is not making any money off these fights. He's just spending money like crazy. But hey, he's putting on good fights. So I can't knock the guy. He's got endless amounts of money.
Yeah, and he's
So
giving the fans what you want, right? I mean, if anything, boxing has been better now than it has ever been in the last 10 years in terms of visibility, in terms of people being able to watch it, being interested in it again. You know what I mean? So from that perspective, I'm looking forward to it, like, to see what he's going to do here going forward. I mean, he just bought Ring Magazine. He bought it
yeah,
all,
but
right? So
nobody pays attention to that anymore. But I know it's a cool publication for us, but the young kids don't care about that.
no, I'm not talking about the young kids. I'm looking at myself and people my age who like that
But the young
nostalgia.
kids are the future, right? They're the ones that buy the pay
And
per views. The
we're
guys
gonna
like
get it in
us.
print form again. So it's gonna be kind of cool, man. So I mean, not everything is for the kids, right? Some things are still meant for us.
Wrestling is for the kids.
All right, let's move on to the next one. What shall we talk about, Mr. Michaels? What's on your mind?
Whatever you want, pick a fight and let's do it.
All right, let's talk about Boots Ennis and the lackluster performance of Boots Ennis on that card. So Sam was the co-main event. He did his part that he was supposed to do. You had the graphic of both those guys sitting in King's chairs. If you ask me, honestly, in my opinion, yeah, Boots won every round, but he did not come to fight. He did not look prepared. He looked bored. And, yes, it's a rematch, but the other guy, like I'm telling you straight up, man, he came out, he put everything out there that he had. I'm sure he didn't think he was going to win, but man, he put up a fight, and Boot was getting hit, man. I mean, if anything, you talk about all the fights that Boots is supposed to go to next. I'm not interested if this is the Boots that you're going to get. Cody Crowley could have beaten this Boots on that night, and no disrespect to Cody.
Yeah, well, this is the second time they fought. The first time, Kazakian didn't fight. He just fought the first time to hold on. This time he was trying to fight to win. Boots is not very good defensively. He needs a better. I don't know if he needs a better trainer, if he needs a better training camp. The reporter asked him after the fight, "Did you? How can you improve your defense? What are you going to do differently?" He goes, "I fight to my opponent's level." So he said basically, "I need to fight better opponents and I'll have better defense." That's not how it works.
No,
If you're defensively sound, you're defensively sound no matter who you fight, like
no.
Mayweather or anybody like that, Whitaker. So he was making excuses. He didn't look great. He won the fight, but he's trying to say he fights down his opponents. So maybe you need to fight better opponents, and we'll see what you got. But he should have definitely, for all the hype, how we rate this guy, he definitely should have had a better performance. So
Well, I mean, I don't want to
wasn't
see them
impressive.
there. I don't want to see them when they were Javante or anyone, right? Like at that level, because I mean, I just if he's going to look like this, he's going to get his ass kicked, man.
Yeah, if he fights like that, he's saying he's fighting down to his competition, which is true. Some fighters fight down to their competition. Some fighters fight up to their competition. I'm not saying that's
And
the
I get
case for
that
Boots, but
completely. I
we'll
think
see.
that's a mistake for him because I mean, if you think about where he's trying to go and what he's trying to attain and the name he's trying to build for himself, I mean, if he keeps saying all the things that he's saying, I'm the future, I'm this, I'm that. Well, dude, you don't look like that. You look really average and pedestrian. I mean, Keyshawn looked amazing compared to him
Yeah,
on
Keyshawn
Friday,
was impressive.
right? Like Keyshawn was impressive. Like he looks like he wants that upper echelon because I mean, you and I both know mid card boxers, low level boxers aren't making the money. You got to get to that top level to make the money that he wants to make. And performances like that, fighting down, it's almost insulting to your opponent at the same time, but at the same time, you're not helping yourself in any way. You know, like you're not going to be remembered for a spectacular victory. And granted, you're fighting in your home stadium and they were booing you.
Well, it wasn't a very exciting fight, right? So I don't blame
No,
the crowd for that.
no, right? So I mean, thank God we had Bam before it because that was a great fight, you know, and you know, you kind of expected the same. I'm glad we got a full fight. I mean, good value for the money, right? But ultimately, I just don't think Boots did what he was supposed to do.
No, he
That
did. He's admitting that. He's trying to blame it on I fight down to my opponents. I'll have better defense, but I fight a better offensively sound fighter. But you could see there's holes in his technique, so he needs to go back to the drawing board
yeah.
and sharpen up his skills, or he's going to be in big trouble when he steps up and fights the A+ level fighters.
Well, I think honestly, realistically, he needs to just be better prepared for any fight. I mean, you go to any fight, like he took some shots, he got wobbled a little bit, right? What if he hit him again and get
Yep.
him, you know? I don't think it's a question of fighting down to your opponent. I think it's an excuse for him not training properly. He didn't train properly.
Well, I
He,
just don't think he has the best trainers in with him because they're
regardless,
obviously not teaching him defense,
regardless, if they're
or
not
he's
teaching him
refusing.
defense or whatnot, I mean, he didn't come prepared. Bottom line. That's
Yep.
the way I see it. All right, brother man, we have the big card coming up this weekend. It's finally here. It was postponed once time, but here we are finally. Paul Tyson, the spectacle that everyone's going to tune into, free on Netflix. So it's not something you guys even have to pay for. As long as you have a Netflix subscription, you guys are in, man. But the undercard on this is amazing. I thought we'd talk about that very quickly. Let's get into it. I think we can cover two fights in one round here right now. So I want to talk about this undercard, man. First off, Mario Barrios versus Abel Ramos. Ramos has been on the show. We had him on. Really nice guy.
Yeah.
You know, after fighting Cody, he was off for a while, but then he had one fight recently, which he won, and this has led up to this Mario Barrios fight. Now, the first thing I thought about, does he deserve a title shot? You know what I mean? Like with the inactivity. But then if we look at boxing in general, a lot of guys are getting title shots that don't deserve them. You know,
Yeah.
and IBF is the worst for it. I mean, they're making it so difficult, but that's for another day. Now, when I look at this fight, I mean, I don't think it's an easy fight for Barrios in any way. I mean, what I know of Abel Ramos, the guy loves to come forward and he eats shots. There's not much separating these two guys. It's only an inch. 1 inch separates them in both height and reach. So, what does Barrios have to do here, in your opinion? I think he needs to just stay to the outside, use his jab, kind of use the little reach advantage that he has because Ramos is just going to keep moving forward, and I don't think Mario has the power to knock him out. So this could be a very interesting fight. Yourself?
It's going to be a good fight. This is a pretty solid undercard. Jake Paul is good at putting together good cards. He gives a lot of boxers chances that wouldn't be on Netflix ever. If it wasn't for Jake Paul, Barrios, Serrano, Taylor are not on Netflix. We got to keep that in mind. He's a very smart businessman. Now, breaking down the fight, it's a close fight, man. I think it's 50-50. The odds makers have Barrios as a favorite, but I'm seeing it 50-50. A slight edge to Barrios. I think to make a quick prediction here because we got a quick round. Barrios is going to win a unanimous decision, possibly a split decision. Ramos is going to come forward. He's tough. He's a game competitor. Barrios is a little quicker, a little sharper, a little more skilled. Final decision. I got Mario Barrios winning split decision. But
Yeah,
it's going
I
to be a
know.
good fight. I don't think nobody's getting knocked out here. Either one of these guys have crazy knockout power.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens, but I'm cheering for Ramos.
yeah, no, I'm going for Ramos as well. Nothing against Barrios. I like him as well, but you know, I can't. We have that little connection with Abel there, so I'm going that same way as
Pretty even
well.
fight though. It should be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun. But in my honest opinion, again, I think Barrios will do enough, just enough to get the victory. Uh, I mean, if he can figure out how to contend with him on the inside, maybe we're talking a different fight here. But ultimately, just based on both fighters, how they fight and what have you, you know, I really think it's going to be a unanimous decision
Yeah.
for Mario Barrios.
Unless one of these guys have a different training camp, a game plan we're not aware of, that nobody's aware of that unless you're in the inner camp. We'll see. But as
Well,
it looks right
if
now,
anyone's going to have a different cap, I would say it'd be Ramos, only for the fact that this opportunity is far and in between. Who
yeah,
knows if he's going to get another shot
this
at
is probably
this?
his last chance. He needs to
So
win
if
it now.
that's the case, he's going to come out, because I tried to reach out for him for the show. And I know the guy's locked in because he's not responded, and he always responds,
Yeah.
just in general. Like, I check in, say hello, how are you? How's it going? Not this time. I haven't heard from him in 2 months. Right.
Yeah.
So, this is definitely something he's really, really working towards to make it what it is, man. All right. I thought we could get two in there, but we'll make this its own round. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, the co-main event of this card. Could have been the main event of this card based on the last fight. Let's get into it. Just based on the last fight alone, man, that was an amazing fight. You don't have to be a fan of female boxing or female sports to see a good fight. They put it all on the line. They broke history. They broke records. They made history being the first, female main event in Madison Square Garden. That building's been around for over 100 years. For that to happen in our time, so late in our time, that's amazing. Going into this fight, though, I'll be this way, man. I think Katie Taylor's going to win again. The reason I'm going to say this is honestly, one, I think she just has had the harder fights. She's got the better pedigree. Um, but ultimately, the only downside to it is she's had the harder fights. So how much does she have left in the tank, right? Amanda's great, but she hasn't had the harder fights, in my opinion. She has something to prove here. She feels that she won the last fight. A lot of people think she won the last fight. So she's going to come out hard. I think Katie's going to come out hard, that much harder, just to prove that she did win that last fight. So this is why I'm saying Katie Taylor by decision in this one. Yourself?
Two things I disagree with you on. This couldn't be the main event. When you got Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, those guys are the main event.
If
They're the cream of
if
the
they
crop.
weren't on the card, this could have been the main event. That's what I'm saying.
Depending who else is on the card, yes, but not in this case. They're in the right spot. Second of all, I'm going to go with Serrano here. First fight was close, a little bit of controversy. Could have went either way. I don't know how much either one of these women have left in the tank. They're getting a little bit long in the tooth, both of them.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a trilogy. I'm thinking Serrano's going to win this one in a decision, and we're going to get part 3. There's a lot of money to be made here. This is going to be a good fight. This is it for Serrano. She want to be known as losing to Katie Taylor, your best opponent, twice? I don't think so. So for that reason, I think the judges, if it gets to a decision, might give her the edge. It's going to be close, but I'm going to go with Serrano. This is to even the score 1-1. But I think they're both a little bit long in the tooth. It's going to come down to this: who's got more left in the tank? Maybe it's Serrano. She's had less harder fights lately. Maybe she's a little more fresh.
Well, but that's what I'm saying, right? But both are going to be coming in with that mentality. So this is what makes it really fun, because I mean, Katie doesn't want to be, she wants to make it look decisive this time, right? She wants to make it look like I did beat you, and she has the more experience against the more veteran, gristled fighters, right? Overall.
Yep.
Plus the Olympic pedigree as well. Take nothing away from Serrano.
Serrano's the underdog in this fight, as she should be. The odds makers have it right. Katie Taylor's a favorite, and everything's saying that Katie Taylor should win. I'm just saying I think Serrano will pull it off, just because it almost seems too obvious we're going to see a trilogy here. There's just too much money to be made.
I mean, if there is a trilogy, then it would have to be in Ireland, and then they can finally get that stadium fight they keep talking about for Taylor, right? So, I mean, that would be the trilogy right there.
And that's what I'm thinking. So if we get to a decision and it's close enough, I think the judge will give it to Serrano. So hopefully the best women wins. It should be a good fight.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to it.
Time.
Looking forward to it, brother, man. Neither one of us could be wrong here. Both, it could be the draw. Who knows, right?
Yeah. This is a close fight. I mean, either way.
Yeah, no, I have no issue with this at all. I mean, I'm looking forward to that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the whole card, obviously, but I mean, I am really looking forward to
this fight could be the most exciting fight on the card.
Yeah,
possible. Yeah. We don't know.
No, and that leads us right into the main event of the night, Mr. Mike Tyson versus Mr. Jake Paul. All right, Jake Paul should win this by all accounts. I mean, if everything is what it's supposed to be, Jake should win. I don't know if he's going to win by knockout. I'll say he's going to win by decision, okay? And this is the way I kind of see the fight playing out. Mike Tyson, 58 years old. I don't think he can train for stamina. I don't think he can train for a lot of things that you would want him to be able to train for. So I almost feel we're going down the road of Rocky Balboa, which is kind of, an interest. I told you this
Yeah,
yesterday,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I was watching the movie because ironically it just came on and it kind of hit me. It's almost the same kind of concept here. You got Mike Tyson, the grizzled veteran, against Jake Paul, whereas in Rocky you had Rocky against Mason Dixon, Andre Ward, or no,
yeah,
sorry, Carver, right? I mean
yeah.
Antonio Carver, and it was based on a computer simulation. Can the old man beat the young guy? Blah blah blah. And that fight happened. So the training that Rocky did in this movie is because they said, "Look, you can't move the way you used to move. You can't run the way you run. You don't have the stamina. So we're gonna have to focus on power." Okay. So if that's the case, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think they're really, really focused on his power. Like you don't lose your power. It might drain a little bit, but his power is still there.
Oh yeah, he's got the
It's
power. Yeah.
you still make it powerful. So here's the way I'm looking at the fight. Jake Paul's key to victory, he has to take to the outside, work with this jab, and wait for that opportunity to launch that right hand. Right. And he's got to play that fight the way. Mike Tyson's key to victory, he's got 2 rounds, maybe a round and a half. He has to get in there. If he's going to knock him out, if he's going to do anything, it's in that round and a half. After that, Paul can toy with him and play with him. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. I took a lot of time. You go, Chance.
Yeah, this might stretch into 2 rounds. But yeah, everything you're saying, I 100% agree with you. I was thinking this morning, I was thinking Paul's going to win, Paul's going to win, and something hit me like, wait a minute, this is probably going to go to the decision. We're thinking crazy knockouts, and it never usually happens the way we think. Here's why I think it'll go to decision. They're calling this a pro fight.
Which is
Technically,
it?
it's not a pro fight. We're doing 2-minute rounds, and we're wearing
14
14
ounce.
ounces gloves and not 10. But I'm glad they're calling it a pro fight. So they don't have to wear the headgear, and they can hit in the head. It's 8 2-minute rounds. It's a 16-minute fight.
Yeah.
That favors Tyson because, like you said, first couple rounds, he's going to come out like gangbusters.
Yeah.
If Paul can weather the storm, Tyson's going to be gassed.
Yeah.
And those short clips of Tyson, he looks amazing. We're only
Yeah.
seeing 30-second clips. Who's he sparring? Is he going for more than 30 seconds? We don't know. And they're meeting up, their little episodes, their smack talk. It's been so much fun to watch. These guys are buddies, but they both want to win. They both want to kill each other. Don't get me wrong. But there's no real bad blood here. But Jake Paul with the fat man suit on and Tyson saying, you got a crazy imagination. Like, it's just fun to see Tyson in a ring again, whether it's an exhibition or pro, whatever you want to call it. We're lucky we got to see this guy. He's in phenomenal shape for 58, for 28, any age. He looks ripped. Like you said, if he gets in there and hits Paul, Paul's in trouble. But I think Paul can weather the storm. I see this going Paul winning a decision. I hope I'm wrong. I hope somebody gets knocked out. I like both guys. I don't really care who wins, but I hope somebody goes down, whether it's Paul or Tyson. But this is a great fight. This is a great card.
It's fun.
And
It's
it's free
fun.
on Netflix. The first ever fight ever on Netflix.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. I
this
mean,
is fun. I'm
you
excited.
can't go wrong. No, I can't go wrong. And honestly, if I think about it, it's just an angle I'm looking at. Okay. I'm not saying this is the case,
You
but I
never
almost
know.
feel, but this could be more theatrics than anything else, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's scripted. I don't want to
It's
go
not
down.
scripted. No,
No, no,
Teddy
no.
Atlas was saying that too. I wanted this WWE style. No evidence to support that. No, I think this is real. They want to go
Oh,
at it.
Teddy said that?
He's saying he thinks it could be, but he has no evidence to support that.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, because I was thinking along the same line. I'm saying you're not going to get a WWE style kind of fight. I don't saying that, but almost.
He's trying to say that is it possible the outcome is predetermined? I say absolutely not. Both these guys want to win. There's too much at stake here, and Netflix.
Well, here's the thing with Tyson.
Netflix wouldn't let them do that.
Well, you never know, man. They're bringing in the WWE, but anyways.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm looking at. Okay, I don't know Mike Tyson personally, but I grew up with him. Right, I have that one advantage. This is where you can call me Uncle G, and it fits. Okay, I've watched Tyson from the very beginning live. I've been blessed that I had a father who loved boxing so much that even before becoming a wrestling fan, I was a boxing fan. So all of Tyson's fights, I got to see, maybe not live, but a week after on ABC.
Yeah, when they put it on,
Sports,
yeah.
Or whenever the replay comes on. But I've watched everything the man's done, right? With all due respect to you, you probably caught it when you were 10.
The first 11. Tyson, yeah, you're about right. I think I was like 9. I think the first Tyson fight that I remember, and I actually watched it live, was when Buster Douglas.
Right, in Japan.
Yeah, that's the first one that I remember offhand.
Right. So, I mean, for me, I was probably already 14, 15 at that point.
Yeah, I think I was 9, yeah.
Right. So, like, for me, I saw that and I'm like, oh my God. And I remember we saw it on tape delay. We were so shocked that Tyson lost, right? That was the biggest upset in the world. And it was at the time. And it still might be, just considering who he fought. Right. Yeah. I mean, if we're just weighing them.
Speaking of that, we might be able to I've been trying to get Buster Douglas on the show, and he's interested, but hasn't confirmed anything.
Okay, well, hey man, we'll just keep pushing the envelope. We'll
Long
see if
shot.
we can get him on there, right?
Yeah.
So here's where my take is with Tyson. He's always been angry.
Oh
He's
yeah.
always had to control his anger.
Oh
If you
yeah.
think about it, I mean, I equate Mike Tyson to the Incredible Hulk
Hmm.
in the sense that the Hulk's biggest challenge is trying to stay calm.
Yeah.
And he's always angry. So if you look at Mike Tyson,
Did you see how angry he was looking at Paul when Paul's like, "I'm gonna do this and do that." He's like, "You got to imagine. You could see it in his face. He's
no,
looking
but
down
dude,
like
but
he
but
wants to
that
rip him."
wasn't acting. That wasn't
No.
acting, and that's the scary part going into this fight. You got this guy who's on edge all the time.
Oh yeah.
The mushrooms, the weed, yeah, he does all that stuff, but in my opinion, I think he only does this to stay calm.
Well, that's exactly why he does it.
That's all it is, right? And he doesn't want to become that person, and he knows it's in him. So if that Mike Tyson's coming out,
Look out.
buddies aside, all of it, he's Jake
Oh, he
might.
wants to kill him. He wants to beat the
Well, that's
crap
what
out
I'm
of him.
saying,
Oh yeah.
right? Like friends aside, Tyson wants to hurt this guy for
Oh yeah.
real, and I
Paul
get
better
the build
realize
up,
that because he's gonna come like a pit
but
bull looking for a steak.
this is the problem. This is where my concern for Jake Paul is. Like you're promoting it the way it's supposed to be promoted. I
Yeah,
get
they're
it,
doing a great job.
right? I mean, he's promoting it for the younger kids, right?
Absolutely is.
Mike
Yep,
doesn't.
smart.
Mike just has to show up, and we're gonna come.
Exactly.
His generation and the people that loved him and followed him are just gonna come because it's Mike Tyson.
Absolutely.
There's a whole generation that's just coming for
There's
Jake
gonna be a
Paul.
couple million people watching this fight easily.
Easy,
Yeah.
easy. 40 million. I'm hearing for Jake Paul. 20 million for Tyson. Right?
Wow. I'm
Katie
happy
Taylor.
for Mike. You know what?
Yeah, but
He
Mike's
deserves
not
it.
short of money though. That's
No,
the
not
thing.
anymore. He's not.
But he hasn't been for a while, right? At one point he was, but he rebuilt himself. So the man isn't short of money. Like I don't know what he's coming out to prove. This is the thing.
You know what it is? I think when he had that fight with Roy Jones, he got that itch. And I think for Tyson, it's like Manny Pacquiao. They're two of the best ever. They don't need to fight. But for them, they just want to train and be in shape. Because you notice with Tyson, when he doesn't train, he gets fat. But when he's trained, he's fucking ripped right now.
Dude,
So,
I mean, at 58, he looks amazing.
oh yeah.
But I don't want to piss on it, but he's on some serious cycles.
Oh yeah, they're not. I don't need their drug testing for this fight.
No, they can't be. You just look at his boobs, the way they're
Mhm.
hanging. Look
Oh
at
yeah.
him close up. His tits, like the way they hang, he's got the steroid tits.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No. He's definitely doing some TRT or HGH for sure.
Doing
Look
something,
how
man.
quick he.
But I mean,
When you're 58, you don't put on muscle that fast. Like in a couple months, he was ripped again.
yeah, right. So I mean, the guy looks amazing. Hey, man, all respect to muscle memory. If done right, it doesn't happen that fast,
No, not at that age.
right? Not at that age. So respect to Mike Tyson, but here's the thing, man. You're going in with an angry Mike Tyson, a very angry Mike Tyson, a fighter Mike Tyson. Okay, that's scary, and
Yep.
I pray that Jake doesn't forget that
I
because
hope
if
not.
he does, this and it sucks for Jake. Okay, I'm going to end with this because we got to wrap this up here. Jake Paul, win or loses, in my opinion. If he wins, oh, well, he only beat up a 50-year-old man.
An old man, yeah.
If he loses, oh, an old man beat you up, right?
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Jake in that respect, but at the same time, I almost feel that I wish he didn't take this fight because if the path he's going on is to become a world champion in boxing, this will set him back, in my opinion.
If he loses, it's going to set him back. He's calling out Canelo now, eh?
Yeah, but see, that's what he's doing because he knows that people aren't taking him seriously.
Canelo's not going to fight him ever, but in the same, he's calling him out.
Canelo knows that he's not stupid. He's not short of cash either. He doesn't need it, right? So let's see, man. Here we go.
So, final prediction. What's your final? Paul in the decision?
Paul in decision. I mean, it should be. That's the most realistic, right? I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, unless he catches him, right? I don't know what a 58-year-old man's chin is like.
Yeah, the odds makers have Jake Paul as a -200 favorite and Mike Tyson is +175. So $100 on Tyson pays you 175 back. So the sharps have Paul as a favorite. So we'll see what happens.
Let's see how it happens.
It's gonna be a good card. There's 3 or 4 really good fights. It's free on Netflix, and this is maybe the biggest boxing event since Pacquiao and Mayweather for far as eyeballs on it.
Possibly, man, or McGregor and Floyd, right? I mean,
yeah, McGregor and Floyd, those on right there. So
those are the two measuring sticks currently, right? I mean, before that, it was all Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
So the King is back. Let's see what he does. Let's see how this plays out. I pray that both guys go in healthy and come out healthy as best as they can, right? Especially Mike. Yeah, Jake by decision, unless he catches him. right? But
Right.
Tyson's movement, the way he moves, the way he's doing everything, out of all the boxers that he's fought, this is probably the best one at 58, even,
Oh yeah, for sure,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, he's still. You can see he's got the power and the speed. It's just how long can he maintain it for?
Well, like 2 minute rounds, maybe that's an advantage to him too, as well. Who knows, right? Let's see
Yeah,
how it plays out. We don't know. We're
it's
just
going to be a
giving
lot of fun. However
prediction.
you slice it, it's 3 or 4 good fights. It's free if you have a Netflix subscription, and it's going to be fun. It's exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to it, brother man. All right, Mr. Chance Michaels, I gotta run. I gotta get out of here. Lots and lots to do. But on that note, man, I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you guys. Have a great weekend. Tune into the fight. Enjoy it. Hopefully, it's raining and pissy and cold, so you don't have any excuses to go out and you can stay inside and watch the fight. I'll be there. Chance will be there watching it here on our televisions, obviously.
And one more thing before we wrap it up, you got a big UFC the next night too with Jones and Miocic. So it's a big
Same
night
night.
of
Same night.
UFC and
Same
boxing.
night. It's the
No,
same night.
Tyson and Paul's Friday. These guys are UFC Saturday.
Are you sure?
Yep, positive. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are Friday the 15th.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Sorry, man. The days are just jumbled together. I basically wake up and I'm go, 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 go. Then I sleep and wake up and I forget sometimes.
Well, smart that they're not. I'm glad they're not competing against each other. They're separate nights, so it's a great weekend for that.
well, I mean, it's a huge night for UFC. Let's very quickly.
Oh
You
yeah,
got Miocic against
Jones
John Jones. You got Oliveira versus
Chandler
Chandler
too.
Part Two. I
Yeah.
mean, those two fights alone, Madison Square Garden. Here we go, man. It's going to be fun. And yeah, they're probably doing it the right way because I mean, if they had them on both nights, we'd be competing with the Serrano and Tyson fights with those two fights probably.
Yeah, no, this is the best
Right?
way to do it. They did it smart.
Perfect, perfect. All right, brother man, I'm out. You're out. Guys, tune into the fights, enjoy them. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. And if you made it this far, like and subscribe. To everyone who's subscribing to the channel, we love you. Thank you so much. You're helping us build that base. So keep supporting us so we can get you the content that you guys want. Samp&Chance out.